So this is the second paper in our technical session. So Luiz is going to present a work on a Tableau Calculus for a logic talking about epistemic modalities for security. Thanks, Luiz. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Claudio Fernandez. I'm going to talk about Tableau Calculus for Dolev-Yao Multi-Agent Epistemic Logic. And this was the subject of my master's thesis under Mario Benevides' supervision, who is still my advisor in my doctorate degree at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. So here we have the outline of the presentation. I will briefly explain the background for our work. First, we have the Dolev-Yao model, then the multi-agent epistemic logic, S5. We also have the theorem prover called Tableau Calculus. And in special, I will introduce the Dolev-Yao Multi-Agent Epistemic Logic, that is a previous work of ours, to finally present the Tableau method we provided for this logic. And we conclude with some final remarks. So we start with the Dolev-Yao model. This is a seminal work in formal cryptography. It can be found in Dolev and Yao's paper on the security of public key protocols that was published in 1983. And since we are talking about formal cryptography, we are considering a perfect encryption scheme, which means that they are trying to show us that an intruder, an eavesdropper in the network, only by the exchange of messages, by manipulating the logic behind the protocol, can be able to read a message that he was not supposed to get access. So basically, in a public key protocol, and using the notation they use it to show this topic in the paper, every user X in the network has an encryption function, EX, that is public. Every other agent will use it to communicate with X, and a decryption function, EX, known only by X. And as requirements, we have that if you apply your decryption function to a message that is encrypted under your encryption function, you obtain the content of such message. And any user, while knowing EXM, does not reveal anything about M, since only X has this encryption function. So next we have an example, and we will denote the transmitted message by the sender's name, the encrypted message, and the receiver's name. And let's consider that a user always replies a message to the user that sent him the message. So here you can see that in the first moment, user A was trying to send a message to user B. But user Z, that is an intruder in this communication, intercepts that message and simply sends the same message to B again. User B will read the message because it's encrypted under his encryption function, and replies to Z using EZM, because the protocol says that he will reply to the user that sent him the message. Since the intruder has this decryption function, the Z, he can decode the message and obtain M. There are more examples in the paper. You can specify in the protocol that you have to concatenate the message with a kind of label that represents the original sender, and the user have to use this encryption function, and so on. And through the years, several works tried to combine those notions with some more flavor of logic. Some try to also use computational cryptography, a more algebraic approach, but these rules are not in Dolev-Yao's paper, but we can easily formalize if we consider a set of keys and denote the encrypted message just like that, using brackets and the key that can be a shared key between two users instead of functions for the encryption and decryption. And we also have the composition of message. Now, talking about multi-agent epistemic logic, this logic will help us to represent the knowledge of different agents and the evolution of the system. So we are trying here to use it in a communication protocol. In the language, we have the propositional symbols, the set of agents, the Boolean connectives, and the operator for knowledge, KA, for each agent A. So KA5 means that A knows 5. And there are some conventions for the operators, or, imply, if and only if, and inclusive the belief operator. Now for semantics, we have the notions of frame and model, and it's important to notice that we have a reflexive, transitive, and symmetric binary relation over the set of states. So tilde A has properties of equivalence. And we can see here the standard example taken from Hans van Ditmar et al. Dynamic epistemic logic. We have 3 players, M, Bill, and Cat. Each one receives a card with 0, 1, or 2. And let's say that the real state is the one that N got 0, B 1, and Cat 2. So we have this epistemic model, the set of possible states or words, the relations between the states. For example, N does not distinguish the states where she has the card with a 0, but does not know if Bill got 1 and Cat 2, or Bill got 2 and Cat 1. And we can assert some formulas like N knows she holds card 0, or Bill doesn't know N's card, or N's know that Bill doesn't know her card, and so on. Now let's talk about Tableau Calculus. We choose the Tableau method theorem proving for our proposal, motivated by its cryptic model-like representation. And this system is a tree-structured reputational method. To prove a formula phi, we start supposing not phi, and then we try to obtain unsatisfiable subformulas in each branch. And if every branch is unsatisfiable, then not phi is unsatisfiable as well, and we have that phi is valid. So by definition, a branch of a tableau is closed if you have a contradiction, and a tableau is closed if every branch is closed. And for S5, we must use subtableau to obtain a refutation. So prefix is what we will name a tableau. This is the set of rules that we're gonna use based on the work of Fabio Massati, single-step Tableau for model logic. So for an N, we have both sides true, a double negation, we have the formula true. For a not and, we're gonna split the tableau considering both sides false. The implies we also split the tableau and we have that the left-hand side is false, or the right-hand side is true. For the not implies, the left-hand side is true and the right-hand side is false. And we have the rule pi for the pi formulas from possibility. So we add not alpha in a new tableau indexed by agent A, and this row operator is the responsible for creating a new tableau or just add the formula to the tableau specified by the prefix. Rule P will eliminate the knowledge operator. Rule 4 will add a Ka alpha to a tableau that already exists. It corresponds to positive introspection and allow us to inherit knowledge forward. And rule 4R will bring the Ka alpha to a tableau if there is a subtableau with this formula. So it's necessary for Euclidean relations. Just for example, if you try to prove the theorem alpha implies in beta implies in alpha and beta, we start denying the formula. So using rule not implies in line 1, we have alpha. Also have not beta implies alpha and beta. We use the same rule now in line 3. Then we have beta and not alpha and beta. And using the rule not and in line 5, we have not alpha, a contradiction with line 2, and not beta, contradiction with line 4. Each of the branches closed, so the tableau also closes, and we have proved the theorem. And now I'll introduce the Dolev-Yao Multi-Agent Epistemic Logic. We published this work in the special issue of the South America Journal of Logic in 2018. And our goal is to use multi-agent epistemic logic to analyze security protocols. We name it as S5DY, and we use expressions that can be any piece of information that can be encrypted, decrypted, or concatenated to build the formulas. So it's a similar definition for the language, but here we add a set of keys and we denote the expressions that can be a proposition, a key, composition of expressions, or a message encrypted under a key. And for the formulas, we have an expression. We can have an expression instead of only a proposition. The semantics is also similar, but in our model, we have to satisfy these 3 conditions. So if we have a message M and a key K, we must be able to have the encrypted message M under K. If we have M under K and K, we have the original message M. And if you have message M and N, we have the pair MN. The axiomatization is also similar to standard multi-agent epistemic logic, but we have these 3 less axioms that ensures the semantical properties of encryption, decryption, and pair composition and decomposition that we have seen before. Then we have as lemma these three theorems to use in our system. An agent knowing a message and a key implies he knows the message encrypted under that key. If he knows a message encrypted under the key and he knows that key, then he knows the decrypted message. And he knows the pair MN if and only if he knows M and he knows N. The proof is quite straightforward using the axioms, the universal generation rule, and the distribution of the knowledge operator over conjunction. And we also prove that the system is sound and complete. Now I will present the Tableau Calculus we designed for the S5DY. The semantics are the same as we saw earlier, and we just add some rules to verify the expressions of S5DY. We also provided a termination argument based on Massachusetts approach as well, but because of the time, we will not see here in more details. So the same rules, but we add the rules for decryption when we have an encrypted message and the key that was used. The not encryption that is similar to not end if we don't have the encrypted message, or the message is false, or the key is false. The rule for pair that looks like the rule N, the pair MN results in a MN N, and not pair that is also similar to not N if we don't have the pair MN, or M is false or N is false. We prove the soundness of the Tableau method. We based our proof on the fitting soundness proof that works on the satisfiability of the set of formulas, and by consequence, the satisfiability of the branches. And the Tableau is satisfiable if at least one branch is satisfiable as well. And for the lemma, we show that our rules also preserve satisfiability. And for completeness, also based on fitting, we have these definitions that consider a Tableau completed if every branch is complete or closed. So every complete and open branch is satisfiable. And if a formula is valid, it has a proof by Tableau. And we prove it also for our expressions. So here we have an example of our method. Let's use it in one of our theorems. Agent A knows M, and agent A knows K, implies in agent A knows M under K. So first we deny it, then we have that agent A knows M, that agent A knows M and agent A knows K. We also have that agent A not knows M under K by the same use of the rule, and applying the rule and in line 2, we have that agent A knows M here in line 4. And agent A knows K in line 5. Now we can use rule pi in line 3, and we have not M under K in a subtableau indexed by agent A. And we can bring these two formulas to the subtableau using rule 4 and eliminate the knowledge operator using the rule P in lines 3-2A and 3-3A. Now, the only thing we can do is use the rule not encryption in the formula in not M under K. So left-hand side, we have not M, contradiction with line 3-4A, and right-hand side, we have not K, contradiction with line 3-5A. So we also have proved this theorem. And as a conclusion, we saw this new epistemic logic, S5DY, aimed to reason about security protocols. We provided a theorem prover based on prefixed Tableaux, proving sound and complete, and providing a termination argument. And we believe that this work integrates concepts of logic in an intuitive way and using knowledge formalism. We also have some possible extensions, especially for the logic, adding common knowledge or actions that are not only in the meta language, also knowledge, the dicto, and some other stuff. And the Tableau can also integrate these developments. But we are always open to suggestions. Any comment, we will be glad to hear. So thank you, everyone, for the presence and your attention.
Thanks, Luis, for your presentation. Do we have questions from the audience? In the meantime, so I have a question. So precisely in your slide 25, in the previous one, can you go to the 25, that one? So I was wondering about the modeling strategy for using your framework for security protocols in the following sense. So assume that we have two, the usual Alice and Bob. So in that case, you will have a modality for Alice and also a modality for Bob. This is the way you encode protocols in your framework?
Yes, we can use it. We only saw here with one agent, but we can integrate another agent to these examples.
Okay, what about the attacker? Because usually the spy, the attacker, is the medium. So she listen all the messages that you interchange, that are interchanged by the principles of the protocol. So what is the role of the spy in this formalization? So you are going to use a modality for the spy, for the attacker?
No, he is a regular agent. But we know that he wants to eavesdrop a message or anything else.
So it's going to be also an agent. And how can you, because your logic has the T modality. So if I know something, so this thing is in the medium, say box A implies A. So how can you go the other way around? So if there is a message, then the spy knows it.
You mean like the content of the message?
Yeah,
or no, only have the message.
The content. So every single message that you send should be known or captured by the attacker to do the analysis.
Yeah, because it's in a communication, every every message will be in the database, let's say. So he can know the message, but he does not know the key. So that's what we want. That key that you use it normally is shared by the agents that really must be in the communication.
Okay. Okay, thanks. We have a question from Daniele, so you can open your mic, Daniele.
Hi. Hold on, let me see if I can. Okay, I cannot open my video, but I can talk. So thanks for the nice talk, Luiz. I have just a curiosity. I see that the addition that you made within the language with the knowledge seems to be like completely separated from the usual constructs of Dolev-Yao. So I have this feeling that the things do not interact between them. So it's like, I don't see something that you could derive that you could not have derived before, besides the expressivity. Now you know that this person knows this and that person knows that, and it's explicit. So perhaps it would be nice to know if you have like tried some particular protocol where the knowledge of each person is important for something. Have you tried examples such as specific protocols where the knowledge of each person is important?
Yeah,
have you tried anything?
We used the logic for some protocols that was used in the Ben logic, like Kerberos, handshake, and I have in my master's thesis. And now that I realize that I haven't put an example of the use of our system, so it's kind of blurred. But we use it in protocols very well known.
Nice, because it would be nice to see, because I think there are protocols like, for instance, group signatures or things that you need to know what each person knows to see if that person can sign, or to authenticate people to see. Perhaps those protocols would be nice to see. And also these kind of keys that you can use the same key for a certain amount of time, to avoid like people knowing, lots of people knowing. Perhaps if you have some kind of information like, this group of people know this key, and now I cannot reuse this key within this group anymore. I don't know, I'm just guessing, because it's nice. It's a very nice work. Thanks a lot for your talk. But I'm still in doubt if the point was just showing the expressivity of the language. Now you have more information, or if you have some kind of specific goal. From now on, I want to be able to verify this, you see? So now the point is just to give more power to the language, or you have like a specific goal?
No, the main, now our goal here, now it's the expressivity.
Okay.
We are working more on that, yes.
Yes, it would be nice to see, perhaps, because there are lots of proof assistants that deal directly with the cryptographic protocols, and I don't remember seeing any of them talking about knowledge. I don't remember, I didn't see, but perhaps it would be nice if someone could add this information to them. Nice, thanks a lot.
No, thank you for the tips.
Thanks, Daniele. So Claudia is clarifying something here in the chat. She said that for that you need common or distributed knowledge as well. So you need that concept, right?
I see. Thanks, Claudio.
Okay, so I have a last one quickly. So usually the problem with the Dolev-Yao model is that you can generate an infinite number of messages by compositions, for instance. So if you have A and B, then you have the composition of AB with A, and then ABA with A, and so on and so forth. So how do you manage this kind of thing, this kind of infinite behavior in the model? Because in the end, you say that you have a prover. So how can you control this behavior?
Yeah, we never thought about the infinity of the message, but the compositions. But I don't know if is there real problem.
It is, I mean, it exists, and there are different techniques, like a symbolic techniques. So you don't do the whole unfolding, but you keep it symbolically, and then this is a final representation, and it is okay. But it usually happens. I mean, it's part of the model of the attacker.
Oh, nice. It's good to know.
Okay. So now it's time. So thanks a lot, Luis, and also to Enrico and Daniel for answering the questions. So this is the, thanks a lot.